Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when a person must rise above the noise of their surroundings and listen to the whisper inside their soul. A whisper that says, "You were not created for small thinking. You were not designed for ordinary results." Before any human being steps into realms of prosperity, their mind must enter that realm first. Wealth is not something you stumble into. It is something you prepare for, something you grow into, something you align your thoughts with long before it appears in your hands. Tonight, I want to take you on a journey, not into the bank account of millionaires, but into the mindset that shaped them, the inner architecture that built the outer abundance. Because long before a millionaire ever becomes one in reality, they become one in thinking, in discipline, in vision, and in faith. If you can think differently, you can live differently. If you can elevate your thoughts, you can elevate your life. If you can master the millionaire mind before the millionaire money comes, then nothing on earth can stop you from reaching the life you were destined to live. Millionaires think in vision, not circumstances. Before any outward breakthrough happens in a person's life, something powerful must first awaken within. Vision is not a decoration of the mind. It is the engine of destiny. It is the inner picture that guides a person long before their reality changes. A person without vision becomes a prisoner of their surroundings, but a person with vision becomes a master of their future. Millionaires are not simply people with money. They are people with sight. They look at the same world others see, but they observe it through the lens of possibility, potential, and divine purpose. Circumstances may shout limitations, but vision whispers direction. Circumstances may say, "You cannot rise," but vision says, "You were born to soar." Millionaires train their mind to obey vision, not conditions. They understand that circumstances change like shifting winds, but vision stands like a rock in the storm. Many people live under the gravity of their present situation, but millionaires break that gravity with the rocket fuel of imagination. When their bank account is empty, they don't see emptiness. They see the beginning of a story. When their environment lacks opportunity, they don't surrender. They become the opportunity. When life closes a door, they don't mourn the closed door. They build another. Vision has a supernatural quality. It allows a human being to stand in a desert and still see a garden, to stand at the bottom and still see the top, to stand in the small and still see the great. Vision is not fantasy. Vision is prophecy. Vision is the first manifestation of the future. Millionaires protect their vision the way a seed protects its core. They refuse to expose it to doubters, mockers, or small thinkers, because they know the wrong voice can suffocate a growing dream. They speak life into their vision. They nurture it with books, mentors, learning, reflection, and courage. They meditate on their future until it becomes more real than their present. Vision becomes a magnet. It draws people, resources, opportunities, and strategies. It begins to shape decisions. It influences habits. It creates a sense of direction that circumstances can never erase. Vision also becomes a filter. It decides what deserves their energy and what must be rejected. Millionaires do not waste energy fighting distractions because their vision is too clear to allow detours. A person who sees the future rises above the weight of the present. A person who nurtures vision becomes unshakable. And when vision becomes stronger than circumstances, elevation becomes inevitable. Millionaires think in possibilities, not limitations. There is a profound difference between someone who merely survives life and someone who transforms it the focus of their mind. Most people concentrate on what cannot be done. They look at challenges and declare defeat before lifting a finger. But millionaires operate from a different internal world. They live in a continuous state of possibility. Their mind is wired to search for openings in places where others see blockages. Limitations are loud. They shout reasons, excuses, obstacles, and fears. But possibility has a quieter voice. It calls the mind heavenward. It invites a person to rise, to experiment, to try again, to believe again. Millionaires train themselves to amplify the voice of possibility until it becomes the dominant sound in their inner life. When faced with a setback, they do not say, "Why did this happen to me?" Instead, they ask, "What is this trying to teach me? What opportunity is hidden here?" They understand that within every difficulty, there is a divine design, an opening disguised as opposition. Possibility thinkers do not run from adversity, they wrestle meaning out of it. They do not fear failure, they extract information from it. They do not worry about not knowing enough, they commit to learning faster than most. They do not wait for the world to hand them permission, they grant permission to themselves. The world becomes bigger for those who think bigger. Doors appear for those who expect them. Solutions reveal themselves to those who seek them. Possibility thinkers move with a certain boldness because they know limitation is often an illusion. They don't ask, "Is this possible?" They ask, "How can this become possible?" People who live under limitation attract limitation. People who live under possibility attract abundance. The world responds to the mindset you carry, and millionaires carry a mindset that life must open for them, because they refuse to accept mental chains. Millionaires think long-term, not immediate gratification. The difference between average thinkers and millionaire thinkers is not intelligence. It is time perspective. Most people sacrifice their future for the comfort of the present. Millionaires sacrifice their present for the strength of their future. They think in years, not days. They make decisions guided by destiny, not distraction. Immediate gratification is the enemy of long-term greatness. It seduces people into chasing moments instead of building mountains. It convinces them to spend instead of invest, to celebrate prematurely instead of prepare intentionally. Millionaires resist this temptation. They understand that anything truly valuable takes time. Crops need seasons, buildings need foundations, and destinies need development. Patience becomes their power. Discipline becomes their shield. Consistency becomes their path. They endure nights of obscurity because they are working toward mornings of influence. They are not intimidated by slow progress because slow progress is still progress. They do not panic when results delay. They keep sowing. While others binge entertainment, millionaires binge growth. While others look for shortcuts, millionaires look for skill building. While others complain about how long things take, millionaires focus on how great the outcome will be. Their mind is deeply anchored in the truth that nothing massive comes without massive preparation. They are willing to delay pleasure, postpone comfort, and reduce distraction because they are building a life the average person cannot imagine. Millionaires think in solutions, not complaints. Complaints drain the mind. Complaints weaken creativity. Complaints blind a person to opportunity. But solutions strengthen the mind, sharpen creativity, and open doors. Millionaires are solution seekers. When a problem arises, they don't panic, they activate. Their mind immediately begins searching for what can be done, not who is to blame. They understand that every problem is a puzzle waiting for the right thinker. Every crisis is a classroom. Every difficulty is a promotion in disguise. Complaints trap a person in the same place, but solutions push them into new territory. Millionaires ask powerful questions. What is the real cause? What is the best possible outcome? What resources do we have? What can we create from this? They know the quality of your life reflects the quality of the questions you ask. Millionaires think in self-investment, not self-neglect. Millionaires understand that you cannot rise higher than your personal growth. They treat learning like oxygen. They invest in books, courses, mentors, experiences, wisdom, and exposure. They nourish their mind the way a gardener waters a seed. Small thinkers spend on entertainment. Great thinkers invest in elevation. Millionaires know their mind is a factory that produces the life they live. If the factory is empty, the production will be empty. If the factory is strong, the production will overflow. Growth is their lifelong commitment. Every day becomes an opportunity to sharpen themselves. They do not wait for perfect conditions. They grow in any condition. They understand that self-investment multiplies their value, and value multiplies their income. Millionaires think in value, not vanity. True prosperity is not built by impressing people. It is built by impacting people. Millionaires focus on value creation. They wake up every day asking, how can I serve more? How can I solve more? How can I improve lives? Because the marketplace rewards value. Money flows towards solutions, not noise. Vanity is shallow, value is powerful. Vanity chases attention, value builds legacy. Vanity fades, value multiplies. Millionaires anchor their thinking in contribution. They become valuable, and because they become valuable, wealth naturally attaches itself to them. Millionaires think in responsibility, not excuses. A person cannot rise while their mind bows to excuses. Excuses are the chains that keep great people small, gifted people stuck, and destined people delayed. Millionaires understand this truth with absolute clarity. Where excuses lie, progress dies. They refuse to hand their power over to circumstances, people, systems, or setbacks. They reclaim responsibility for their life, their decisions, their habits, and their outcomes. Responsibility is not a burden. It is a throne. It is the moment you realize that your life is not shaped by what happens to you, but by how you respond to what happens. Millionaires think in responsibility because responsibility gives them authority. Authority over their mindset. Authority over their finances. Authority over their destiny. Excuses sound comfortable, but they lead nowhere. Responsibility sounds demanding, but it leads to transformation. Millionaires face their mistakes with honesty. They confront their weaknesses with courage. They analyze their failures without emotional collapse. Instead of saying, I couldn't because of this, they declare, I will rise in spite of this. They hold themselves accountable when others look for someone to blame. They seek correction when others avoid it. They prioritize growth over ego. They understand that self-honesty is the birthplace of breakthrough. And because they take responsibility for their life, life eventually begins to reward them with results that others only dream about. Millionaires think in strategy, not impulse. Millionaire thinking is intentional, purposeful, structured. While average minds move from emotion to emotion, millionaires move from decision to decision. They do not respond impulsively to problems, opportunities, or challenges. Their mind is trained to calculate, evaluate, and strategize before taking action. Impulse leads people to quick pleasure, quick spending, quick decisions, and quick regret. Strategy leads to long-term advancement, long-term stability, and long-term elevation. Millionaires think like architects. They build the blueprint before they build the structure. They plan the path before they begin the journey. They weigh options with clarity and foresight. They do not jump at every opportunity simply because it looks shiny. They ask, does this align with my vision? Does this multiply my future? Does this strengthen my foundation? Their moves are deliberate. Their actions have purpose. Their choices follow patterns. They understand that consistency without strategy becomes wasted effort, but strategy with consistency becomes unstoppable momentum. Millionaires also think in systems. They know that success cannot depend on emotion because emotion fluctuates. They build routines, financial structures, habits, and decision frameworks that keep them advancing even when motivation is low. They reduce randomness and increase predictability. They replace emotional reactions with strategic responses. Their life becomes like a well-managed garden. Every seed is planted with intention, every plant is pruned with purpose, and every harvest is predictable because the process is planned. Strategy expands their capacity, reduces their stress, and multiplies their results. Millionaires think in growth environments, not comfort zones. Nothing alive grows in a place built for comfort. Comfort zones may feel safe, but they suffocate potential. Millionaires understand that greatness is born in environments of challenge, learning, and stretching. They deliberately place themselves in rooms, relationships, conversations, and atmospheres that demand their elevation. Growth environments refine you. They expose your blind spots. They stretch your thinking. They disrupt your normal. Millionaires seek mentors who challenge them, not flatter them. They connect with people who inspire them, not drain them. They join communities where progress is the standard, not the exception. Comfort zones whisper, stay here. Don't risk anything. Don't try anything new. Growth environments declare, rise higher. You are capable of more. Step into the unfamiliar. Millionaires choose the latter. They are not afraid to feel uncomfortable, unprepared, or inexperienced, because they understand that discomfort is evidence of expansion. Every new season of success demands a new environment of pressure. Diamonds are formed under intense heat. Champions are formed under intense development. Millionaires also change their environment internally. They cleanse their mind from negativity. They guard their heart from toxic voices. They expose themselves to wisdom, books, learning, and inspiration every day. They elevate the inner environment so the outer environment must eventually follow. Growth environments birth transformation.